This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
"6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The employees of government and private sectors should carry their official identity cards when using public transport. The process is implemented with effect from today. The public is requested not to travel outside unless for any important reason. The circular calling teachers and principals for duty amended. Sri Lanka confirms 2,956 COVID cases yesterday. The Director General of Health Services confirmed 94 coronavirus deaths yesterday. An environmental conservation zone to be designated along the Kalani River. The government has successfully implemented the housing project amidst the coronavirus pandemic. It is stressed that public transport will be used for only essential services. The Deputy Director General of Health Services, Dr. Hemant Herath, says there is no need to hide any coronavirus-related news to the public. In news overseas, Greece wildfires, hundreds more evacuated as uncontrolled fires rage. In sports, 2020 Olympic Games conclude. The USA tops the medal table. The employees of government and private sectors should carry their official identity cards when using public transport. The process is implemented with effect from today. The police and health authorities will randomly check the public transport in this regard. Meanwhile, the public is requested not to travel outside unless for any important reason. It is stressed that public transport will be used for essential services. State Minister Dilum Amrugama said that the official identity cards are mandatory to travel in public transport. They will be checked arbitrarily by the traffic police. Those who violate these regulations will be dealt with. The head of the COVID-19 Prevention Task Force, Army Commander General Shavendra Silva, pointed out that the public should follow the health guidelines strictly without fail. Especially, the health guidelines released in connection with weddings and other ceremonies should be followed strictly, the Army Commander added. The Secretary of Education has issued a letter to all education officials regarding the change in the previous decision to call all teachers and principals back for duty. As per the letter, the academic staff of schools are allowed to work from home as it is not necessary to call everyone to schools. This is due to the rapid spread of the COVID-19 epidemic. The letter also states that teachers should teach students using the online method or other alternative methods during the period of duty from home without coming to schools. However, the Teachers and Principals Union say they will continue their strike until their salary issues are resolved. A total of 726 more people tested positive for the COVID-19 virus yesterday, bringing the daily count of positive cases to 2,956. The new development has brought Sri Lanka's confirmed coronavirus cases tally to 329,994 yesterday. Meanwhile, the Director General of Health Services confirmed 94 coronavirus deaths yesterday. As per official data, as many as 293,357 patients who were infected with the virus have returned to health so far, while 31,620 are still under medical care at select hospitals and treatment centers across the country. In the meantime, the death toll from the coronavirus now stands at 5,111. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking.
It has been found that factories and businesses located along the river systems, as well as the people living in the vicinity, discharge all types of pollutants into our river system. The members of Parliament also pointed this out at the Environment Parliamentary Consultative Committee meeting last week. They pointed out that some individuals had used political power and bribed officials to build a number of unauthorized structures along the river, thus causing massive environmental pollution associated with the river system. Therefore, the program to mark the protected boundaries covering all rivers should be initiated first from the Kalani River, the minister said. The reason for this is that the Kalani River is currently the most polluted river in our country. A survey conducted by the CEA has identified 1,374 disposal sites. Of those, 577 places have been reported from the Gampaha district and 797 from the Colombo district. After marking the river reserve along the Kalani River, steps will be taken to evict the unauthorized occupants, and it is proposed for the Urban Development Authority to build housing schemes for them, the release added. An amended circular on recalling state sector employees to work under new health guidelines has been published. The communique with amendments to Circular 2/2021-3 was issued by the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Services, Provincial Councils and Local Government J.J. Ratnasiri. The circular says that each public servant is required to report to the office at least 3 days per week. Accordingly, they will work from office on shift basis to ensure that services provided by their respective institution remain uninterrupted. The employees are obliged to work online even on a day they are not called to the office. The shift basis work schedule is not applied to the staff members who are provided transport services by official vehicles or pool vehicles. They can report to work at the discretion of the head of the institution. Pregnant staff members and female officers with children below the age of 1 year will not be called to work, the circular read further. In addition, a flexible procedure will be followed if an employee suffers from an illness or has any valid reason to be not called to office. The employees have been urged to follow the health guidelines, wash their hands, wear face masks, and to keep their workplace sanitized. The Deputy Director General of Health Services, Dr. Hemant Herath, said there is no need to hide any coronavirus-related news to the public. He said the daily coronavirus patient count has reached 3,000, while more than 100 deaths reported daily due to this coronavirus pandemic. Dr. Hemant Herath requests the general public to cooperate with the government to control this pandemic situation. A specialist doctor at the Lady Ridgeway Hospital said around 45,000 children are included in the total count of coronavirus-infected cases in the country, out of which 14 children died due to this pandemic. Meanwhile, it is also reported that the separate ward allocated for coronavirus patients is overflowing in the Lady Ridgeway Hospital. That's local news.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The government has successfully implemented the housing project amidst the coronavirus pandemic. State Minister Indika Anuruddha says construction work of 6,000 houses has commenced so far under the theme House for You, a Future for the Country, out of which the construction work has been completed for 4,000 houses.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the health officials request the public to follow the health guidelines during this period. Although the travel restrictions are relaxed, the public is requested to follow the special guidelines released by the Health Ministry to control the third wave of the coronavirus outbreak. The health officials warn that further travel restrictions will be determined in the future based on the behavior of the general public. That came to you in Watchlight, and now in world news headlines. Greece wildfires, hundreds more evacuated as uncontrolled fires rage. Afghanistan war, Taliban capture city of Kunduz. Nigeria kidnappings, Chibok schoolgirl returns home 7 years on. Hundreds more people have been forced to flee their homes in Greece as firefighters struggle to contain huge days-old wildfires. Tourists and locals were evacuated by boat from Evia, the country's second-largest island, on Sunday. More than 2,000 people have now been evacuated in total. Houses and power lines have also been destroyed, while the fire on Evia is the most severe. Dozens of smaller blazes are burning around the country. The Taliban have captured the key northern Afghan city of Kunduz, one of the country's largest, after fierce fighting with government forces. A local official told the BBC all but the city's airport had fallen to the militants. The group's flag was seen raised in the city centre. Chaotic scenes have been reported with buildings and shops ablaze. 4 regional capitals have now fallen to the Taliban since Friday. Kunduz is their most important gain this year. One of the Nigerian schoolgirls seized by Islamist militants Boko Haram from the town of Chibok in 2014 has been freed and reunited with her family. Ruth Nlada Pergu and a man she is said to have married in captivity recently surrendered to the Nigerian military, according to officials. The couple have 2 children. More than 270 girls were abducted in Chibok, northeastern Borno state. Over 100 of them have since been freed or managed to escape. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. Greece wildfires, hundreds more evacuated as uncontrolled fires rage. Afghanistan war, Taliban capture city of Kunduz. Nigeria kidnappings, Chibok schoolgirl returns home 7 years on. That was World News. And now in development news.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Win lakhs and lakhs with CIB Janajaya. 40% discount for your bills till 15th of August. 6 hand tractors at the Grand Row. CIB Janajaya.
The government plans to establish an agro-manufacture exchange centre near Hambantota, the port and the Matala International Airport premises. A land extent of 1,000 acres will be used for this purpose. The land will be identified in the near future for this purpose.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Win lakhs and lakhs with CIB Janajaya. 40% discount for your bills till 15th of August. 6 hand tractors at the Grand Row. CIB Janajaya.
And now in sports news, Tokyo Olympics 2020. The United States will take home the most medals from the 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics that concluded on Sunday, including the coveted title of the most gold medals won. Just as it looked like China would win the most gold medals, the United States surpassed its rival on the final day of the Games delayed by COVID-19. The Americans marked the end with a historic volleyball victory on Sunday morning in Tokyo, which was still Saturday night in the US. The United States women's indoor volleyball team won its first Olympic gold medal in history with a sweep in 3 sets, 25-21, 25-20, 25-14, over arch-rival Brazil in the match for the medal of gold. The victory gave the United States 39 gold medals, surpassing China's 38. There were no other events left at the Tokyo Summer Games that involved China or the United States vying for gold. The United States won not only the gold medal race, but also the overall medal race uncontrollably. In soccer news, an emotional Messi said joining PSG was a possibility, but nothing is agreed as he confirmed his exit from Barcelona. Messi is ending his 21-year association with Barca, who cannot afford to honour the new contract they agreed with him because of La Liga's salary limit. The record 6-time Ballon d'Or winner 34 is now a free agent. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Dialog Asiata plc announced its consolidated financial results for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2021 yesterday, with revenue by 7% to 35.1 billion rupees. Dialog reported strong performance across all business segments, with mobile, fixed line, digital pay television, international and tele-infrastructure recording growth relative to prior periods, namely year-to-date, quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
And now in economic news, Kaja Holdings, a multinational conglomerate associated with global organizations and joint ventures, is building Sri Lanka's first cold storage facility in Mirigama on a 1-acre land and the largest graded housing for employees. The total investment for the two projects would be 5 billion rupees. Kaja Holdings CEO Gayat Jayasinghe said that the cold storage facility, a first of its kind in Sri Lanka, would be a joint venture with Malaysian counterpart. Sri Lanka does not have a large cold storage facility, and due to this, there is a huge waste during harvesting season when it comes to perishable items. Quote, if you take green chilies and lime prices, they drop to rock bottom during season, and in off-season they sometimes pass the 1,000 rupee mark per kilo. The reason for this is that even the government does not have a storage facility, unquote.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialog, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the Sabaragamu and Western provinces and the Nuwara Eliya, Kandy, Galla and Matara districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara district during the evening or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. Fairly strong winds up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in the Hambantara district. This weather report was issued this morning at 4:30 a.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the international weather forecast website AccuWeather.com predicts that Colombo's weather would be generally bright during the day, but there will be cloudy weather in the afternoon. Today's daytime temperature would be around 29 degrees Celsius. There will be light showers in many places in the Colombo district in the night. Tonight's temperature will be around 28 degrees Celsius and there will be scattered showers in select spots late in the night. The ground temperature would be 27 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The Air Quality Index, AQI, is 14, which shows a fair condition in Colombo. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialog, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The employees of government and private sectors should carry their official identity cards when using public transport. The process is implemented with effect from today. The public is requested not to travel outside unless for any important reason. The circular calling teachers and principals for duty amended. Sri Lanka confirms 2,956 COVID cases yesterday. The Director General of Health Services confirmed 94 coronavirus deaths yesterday. An environmental conservation zone to be designated along the Kalani River. The government has successfully implemented the housing project amidst the coronavirus pandemic. It is stressed that public transport will be used for only essential activities. The Deputy Director General of Health Services, Dr. Hemant Herat, says there is no need to hide any coronavirus-related news to the public. It is stressed that public transport will be used for only essential services. In news overseas, Greece wildfires, hundreds more evacuated as uncontrolled fires rage. In sports, 2020 Olympic Games conclude, the USA tops the medal table. That concludes this news broadcast.